Hi. I'm recording this kind of on a whim. And I just got home from work and everything, so I'm tired of shit anyways. So if I'm more rambly and disjointed than usual, apologies, but you're gonna have to bear with me. So I actually already tried to record a video about this main topic. Um, but it wasn't very good and other things have happened, so um anyways, a couple of days. Well, let me get started. It's Wednesday night, technically Thursday morning now, because I get off work in the early AM hours. So it's like 3 in the morning or some shit. And I'm sitting here in my room after work, nice and fucking exhausted. Um, so I think it was Monday. Yeah, Monday morning. Because I was like waiting for my doctor's office to open up. Monday morning, I called my doctor's office and I asked them about the possibility of having loose skin removed. Specifically, like my belly and like down into my like groin area. It's kind of embarrassing, but there's a lot of loose skin down there that isn't much of a confidence booster when I get into certain particular situations, where somebody might see all of that. Um, I've still worked around it just fine, but it gets in my head, and it really does take away from the experience for me, to be honest. Um, so I called and asked about, like, am I gonna need like a referral or something? Can I get one? And they were like, probably. We'll have to talk to the doctor about it. We'll call you back. I have not had a call back yet. So before there's any questions, not that anyone's going to watch this, but before there's any questions about like when is this happening, what am I having done, etc., I don't know any of that, and I'm probably not going to for a little while. For now, I'm just looking into the possibility. Um, Money is going to be the biggest problem, the biggest obstacle. I'm making okay money, and I'm in a position right now, still living with my parents and everything, where I don't have a lot of expenses. So, I mean, technically, I could afford to do whatever I wanted, and I would just be making payments on it for a while. But the thing is, that assumes that I'm going to stay right where I am, which I don't. I don't intend to stay here long term. Obviously, I don't want to live with my parents in my 30s or something. It's bad enough that I'm already doing so at 27. It's embarrassing and it makes me feel like a mooch. It makes me feel guilty. So I need to get the fuck out of here. But the thing is, I wanted to move out with my girlfriend, and there are some loose ends basically that she needs to tie up before she's ready for that, and it might end up being like next summer at the earliest, maybe. So I don't know. If I just go with like a paniculectomy, for example, you're gonna have to Google that one. I'm not the guy to explain all this shit. But if I just go with paniculectomy, that might actually be at least partially, if not fully, covered by insurance, as long as like there's a medical reason. Which, one of the common ones is that like under those like skin folds, you can get like rashes and irritation and shit like that, or even like certain kinds of infections or something. It's not that bad for me, but like I mean, if I'm being a gross motherfucker and I skip a shower or something, I sometimes do get a rash there. And I've already expressed that it kind of affects my mental state during like a sexual experience. So I think I could totally get a doctor to write off on a medical reason for it. And so it might be covered by insurance, at least partially, if not fully. But doing some research on all this stuff, I've seen a lot of people saying that a paniculectomy, because it doesn't do like the muscle tightening thing that a tummy tuck does, because apparently tummy tucks do that. I didn't know that until I started looking at all this stuff. But like those abdominal muscles can kind of like separate a bit if you've had a pregnancy or if you've just been really big, which I used to be 408. I used to be really big. So I don't know if I need that or not. I'm not I'm not necessarily married to the idea of having like a super flat belly anyways, because I've just never thought I would. So like to me, like missing out on that is like, losing this opportunity that I never really planned on having in the first place. Um, it would suck to like possibly have that and just like pass up on it, but I'm not convinced that it was ever possible. um because I am at the moment I'm 208. I weighed myself right before this video and before I ate my dinner. Um and I was 208.6. So that's not bad. I've been floating around about 215 since March. Um I think I did that bulking thing at one point, like right before I started my current job, and I went up to like 225, but then I came back down to 215, and I sat there again for like a couple of months, maybe a handful of months. I don't quite know how long, but yeah, it's fucking October now, and I'm at 208. So hell yeah, even going back up to 225, I came right back down. I feel pretty good about that. I'm on track losing again because fucking like 4 or 5 days ago I was 215. So generally you don't want to lose weight that fast. But like honestly, the thing is, all I've really done is that I've quit eating out and I've started tracking again, and that's it. I have my daily calories set to 2,000, so I'm not starving myself. I'm probably going a little over 2,000, but my job is really physical, and I'm making some kind of an effort to be honest with my tracking. I still don't like weigh my shit, which is why I suspect I probably am going over 2,000, but it can't be by too much if I'm just going to drop like a handful of pounds in about as many days. So yeah, um on track losing again, 208, feeling pretty good about that. I think if I can just keep tracking and not like getting fast food or something or like binging, um I could probably get lower. I don't know how much lower, but um the thing is, how should I put this? While I was looking into all of this like paniculectomy stuff, tummy tuck, whatever, I found some study. I've already forgotten like the title of it or where it was. I think it was on like PubMed or something, where they were talking about like patients who had had a paniculectomy, sorry, after like a big weight loss. And I remember a tidbit that was in there was like their patients had lost about 100 pounds, and on average, the loose skin removed accounted for about 4.4% of their total body weight. So if you plug in, I did 210 because this was a couple days ago. I was 210. I plugged in 210 and just did 4%, and that came up to 8 point something pounds of loose skin. I could be carrying anywhere from 5 to 10 to maybe more because those patients had lost about 100 pounds. I've lost about 171 now. So I don't know, 5, 10, surely not 15, but maybe more than 10, something. I have to subtract that from whatever weight I am to get an idea of like my actual body mass if I wasn't covered in loose skin. So like right now, for example, 208, I could realistically be down to 198, if you take off the loose skin. So I don't feel it's necessary. Like if my goal weight, like going by the BMI scale or whatever, is say 180, then I don't need to get down to 180 pre loose skin surgery. I need to get down to like 190 and just leave it there. That's fine enough. I don't need to waste away. I do want to have some muscle mass, which is another thing I'm worried about, like how to preserve muscle mass after the surgery. If anyone has any, helpful tips on that, please chime in. But I'm gonna have to cut here. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Uh, had to think for a second. But yeah, I think yeah, I'll probably aim for about like 190 or something. I don't see the need to go too much lower than that. If I happen to get lower than that, fair enough, but I need to make sure that I'm not like, doing anything dangerous. I need to keep in touch with my doctor about that, talk about that study, see if she knows anything else herself as far as like accounting for loose skin versus, total body mass. and just making sure that I'm not, going to like go off the deep end and like really start getting frail. That would be especially bad at my job. My job is very physical, so if I can't support enough muscle mass to keep working my job, that's going to be a big problem. So yeah, I'm watching my protein intake, and I'm trying really hard to get more sleep so I can recover adequately between shifts. I haven't been working out as much at home, honestly, as much as I would like to, as much as I should. I haven't really been doing it at all, barely. And that does bother me. I especially would like to gain more lower body mass. Like if my legs stayed the same size but just shifted so that they were more muscular than they are now and just a little less fat, which they're not very. I have chicken legs, so I don't hold a lot of fat on my legs to begin with. But if I had thicker legs, I would be happy with that. Um, and so I should be working on that. And so I don't know. There's part of me that is tempted to hit the weights a bit harder, maybe not restrict quite as much as I am because it seems like I'm really plummeting my weight, which tells me that maybe I have a little bit more room to work with than I realize. So maybe I'll keep my current program but just add in an extra protein shake or something and start lifting a little again on a semi regular basis, and especially focusing on lower body. And hopefully I can put on some a little bit tiny bit more mass before whenever the surgery is, if it's happening. um, I don't know what I need to do to get cleared for it, because obviously they want you to get to like whatever your target weight is and stay there for a while. I'm looking into it now because it seemed like I was stuck at 215 for the better part of a year. So I was thinking like, fuck it, I guess the time is now. I'm not getting any lower than this. I don't want to put any back on, so I'm going to call this an endpoint and say this is good enough, whatever, let's have it. I didn't plan on like within the next couple of days dropping a handful of pounds. So, I don't know. I don't know if that'll disqualify me. Um, I don't know if anything about like my mental state will disqualify me because you can't really see it in this lighting and as I'm sitting. But quite frankly, I'm covered in cut scars. Like not I never like actually went for like my wrists or anything. I'm not going to show you anything. Anything I do show you is going to be unaffected, because I'm not trying to like trigger people with it. But like around my arm here, like part of it that you can't see, years of cut scars. I've got some on my thighs. I had some on this arm, but it's nicely covered now. So, um, so yeah, I don't know if like they might see that because some of those are pretty recent. I don't like to admit that, but some of them are pretty fresh. And I worry that if somebody sees that, they might think like I'm not in a mental state to have the surgery. Um, it's been a while since I've actually just had my health in general looked into. So I don't know what my blood tests would look like. Hopefully they're good. I would like to think that they would be good. Um, but like I said, I haven't been terribly active outside my job, which is pretty active, sure, but it doesn't really get me into like the cardio zone very often. It's more of like a low-ish intensity, but for like 10 hours in the cold. So I can't fucking say. I really can't say. And a lot of my diet lately has been scheduled around like convenience because I work almost 60 hours a fucking week in the factory. Like they've got me doing Monday through Saturday, roughly 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. So, it's a lot of hours. So I just don't have a hell of a lot of time. Like between that, trying to get a passable amount of sleep and trying to occasionally see my girlfriend, that leaves only so much time for shopping and cooking and laundry and showering and everything. So yeah, I've been eating more towards convenience than like, you know, I'm a lot less nutritionally. I don't know how to say it. I was about to say tight, but that just I don't want to use that word. I'm a lot less nutritionally rigorous, perhaps, than I used to be, just because I can't afford to spend that much time planning out meals, shopping for them, preparing them. it's really getting to me. This 60-hour week shit is really bothering me. And unfortunately, it's kind of mandatory at this job. And this job pays well enough that I don't want to leave it. But it's just, it's the holiday rush. We're preparing for the holidays. Once they actually get here, I'll be off that schedule. But the thing is, we need to like build up the like backlog of product to ship for the holidays. So we make it beforehand, and so when it comes up, then we've already satisfied the orders or whatever some weeks, months in advance. So anyways, yeah, um, it'll be another month plus of this schedule before I'm back to 5-day weeks. So it's going to be a hard month and a half ish, a very hard one. I've already been on it for several weeks. So I know what I'm in for. Unfortunately, I'm very very painfully aware of what's coming down the pipe for me at work. Um, so yeah, I need to, like I said, talk to my doctor, get some kind of a referral to get a consultation, go to a consultation, talk about my options, what would be best for me. Then we can talk about the possibility of like scheduling if I meet the requirements, and then I'm gonna have to talk to my work and talk about like time off and shit, and then I'm gonna have to come home and like take stock of everything about my current situation, and like think about like you know whenever I'm recovering, I need to have like this kind of a pillow that I don't fuck almost dropped my phone, that I don't currently have. And so I'm gonna have to go out and get like some kind of like a wedge pillow thing to like elevate myself in bed and shit like that. There's a lot of planning and preparation that needs to go into this. So this is all very preliminary. I'm just bringing up the idea now, but I'm thinking about it. And I've always been distantly thinking about it. I just never expected to actually get here. So so I've got a lot of work to do in short order. But anyways, I just thought I would, you know, do some kind of an update. It's been a fucking while, especially since I've come up with anything like meaty to actually tell you guys. And it feels really fucking good to finally be at least kind of back on track. So, anyways, I'm going to get ready for bed. Try and get my sleep. Try and be a good boy. So, I'll see you motherfuckers next time. All right. So please realize that I'm very much mortified to do this, but I thought I'd show you some of the loose skin situation. Now, I'm not going to pull this all the way up, but you can see like there's not a whole lot going on up here. But here's the part that I really don't like to pull out is all of this. As you can see where it like kind of folds, like it's very much just like a lot of it is just a flap of skin. Um, so that's not so great. I'm not gonna show you anything too spicy, but like down here too, you can see I can grab like a whole lot of it. And so that kind of just there's a lot more to it than what you saw there. Let's just put it that way. Another spot that's really bad is my upper thighs. Again, I'm not gonna show anything that is technically not allowed, but like you can see it especially bad when I put my legs together, like it like folds through here. Um, I don't like that, and so I intentionally avoid wearing shorts that are like any shorter than this. For example, I mean these are just underwear, obviously, but yeah, if I had a pair of shorts that was shorter than this, I wouldn't wear them. I have shorts that are longer than this that I roll up to basically just this length, and that's as short as it gets. Because I'm like embarrassed of the loose skin. And my upper arms definitely have some going on too. Like if you see if I flex here, like there's still all that jiggly stuff. Um, I don't really care about that too much. I really don't. It's all of this situation that bothers me the most, and kind of my thighs as well. But if I put on some actual muscle mass, if I actually got off my ass and worked on that, then I could tighten that up some. So I might not need surgery for that in the future. We'll see. But I thought you know, as much as I'm going to make it like a topic of discussion, that I might as well show you what I'm working with. So yeah, this is the reality of about 171 pounds of weight lost in the past like 2 years.